Live from the Corn Palace in Mitchell, South Dakota, it's the Recliner Man Show. Starring, what's that? It's not starring Recliner Man? Crikey! It's starring Patches McGee!
And welcome to the show, for it's a time of the Recliner Man Show. And you're saying to yourself, Patches, what are you doing? What have you doing? Are you sitting in a Recliner Man's chair? Have you stolen it? For you are an Irishman, and we know how you Irishmen, you like to take things that don't belong to you. And I'll say to you, why, that's a racist thing to say. How would you like it if I say that your race or creed or culture were in the habit of taking things that don't belong to them? Would you be offended? Would you say, oh, Patches, I won't abide such a thing. I won't abide it. You misfighting words. And then you'd find yourself in a fight with Patches McGee. And that's not a good place to be. For when you fight with Patches, you fight not only with Patches, but with his entire orchestra. And in me orchestra are some lads who you don't want to fight with. Let me start by talking about the horn section. There's some lads you don't want to fight with. And don't get me started on the woodwinds. Oh, those woodwinds, yeah, there's a lot you don't want to be messing with. For all through the percussion section, there you will find the lads of stone hearts and fists of iron. For when I have an audition for me orchestra, when there's an opening, as there sometimes is, not because folks leave, for there's only one way to leave Patches McGee's orchestra, and that's through the back door, down the chute. You go down the chute of the back door, we've got one, out by the fire escape. And I mean to say, you don't go join another orchestra, You might say to yourself, oh, Patches, I've learned so much from being in your orchestra. Now I want to go out on my own. I want to play at the jazz clubs. I want to play the slide trombone. There'll be no playing of slide trombone. Oh, Recliner Man Avatar, how are you doing? Would you like a little bit of the Doors? For it's a fine beverage for a beagle such as yourself. You're a fine one, you are. The Avatar of Recliner Man. Me own avatar. But that's another story for another day. Today we're talking about why am I, Patches McGee, sitting in the recliner? For this recliner, as we know, belongs to none other than Mr. Recliner Man. And you know his daughter is in town. She is, Maverick. And you haven't seen Maverick on the show before, but now she's here in town. For Recliner Man has taken up with a bit of an illness he has. That's right. And I, Patches McGee, have stepped up to the plate, I have. That's what they say in America, for they play a strange form of cricket, they do, with a bat. That's a stick made of wood. And you say, oh, Patches, what do you know of a stick made of wood? I know quite a bit, for when we were fighting the British, and we still are. The days when we were fighting the British would come and they'd say, oh, you Irishmen, what are you up to? You wouldn't be having yourselves fight a resistance, would you? And we say, oh, maybe this stick of wood will answer you. And we would beat the British with a stick of wood, we would. No pun intended. Really, there were no pun intended. Sometimes I surprise myself with the things that I say. Where were we? We were in the woodwind section. There's Paddy O'Shanagan with the oboe. And when he comes at you with the oboe, you'd best watch out where you go. Oh, it's the oboe. Yes, the Recliner Man. He's taken a bit sick, he has. And he's in the hospital now, but he'll be okay. How do you know, Patches? How do you know that he'll be okay, that he won't succumb to his wounds? Well, I'll tell you how I know. And that's what I says to Fither Murphy. I says, oh, saintly Fither Murphy, will the Recliner Man be okay? And he says, Patches, I'm on it. I know, I says, what do you mean you're on it? What do you mean? Are you on it? What are you going to do? Are you going to And he says, I'm gonna pray. That's what I'm gonna do, Patches. I'm gonna pray for Recliner Man. And when Father Murphy prays for you, you get bitter. Aye. For Lord, remember it were a story of a lad, and he were took ill. And now I will tell you the tale of another lad that took ill, just as Recliner Man has took ill, and he'll be cured by the prayers of the saintly Father Murphy. This other lad, he were a name of Seamus O'Shooligan, or Schmooligan, or Slump. He were a Seamus of sorts, and I'm not talking about the detective kind with the shoe with the gum. For they would walk around and say, oh, well, there's the criminal that we're going to get. And they'd do so much walking that they'd get gum on their shoes. Well, not in Ireland, for they'd shoot the doors. Aye. And then he says to me, Recliner Man, need not worry, for I'll do the praying. And he started to pray, Father Murphy did. And he says, oh, later, we know that Recliner Man, he's been taken ill. Maybe you could, but let me get back to the tale of Seamus O'Tooligan. And Seamus O'Tooligan, he had taken up with the venereal disease he had. And Father Murphy says, lad, don't worry. And Seamus O'Tooligan, he says, I've come to the confession. And Father Murphy says, now I've got to fumigate the confession booth, for you've brought in a disease that you found among our women are ill, you pute. That's what you've done. Don't you see the shame in what you've done, lad? You've done a terrible thing, you have. And Seamus O'Tooligan, he's feeling so guilty, he's sobbing, and he's saying, oh, Father Murphy, the shame I've done. And he's beating his chest, he's going like so. He said, oh, Father Murphy, I'm doing tachanun, I am. And Father Murphy says, now, lad, not to worry, for when I, Father Murphy, pray for you, oh, your ills go away. And so he prayed. And he prayed. And all the ills went away, they did. And that's the story that gives me the faith that the Father Murphy's prayers, they'll be answered and the cure will come to Recliner Man.
Recliner Man is brought to you by Peanut Butter Oreos. Have you eaten a peanut butter Oreo lately? If not, why not? Do you think you're too good for them? Well, excuse me for breaking it to you, but you're not!